Good morning, everyone. Hello, it's Mrs. Lee here. How are you? I hope that you're well. Me? I'm okay. I had a lovely weekend. Did you? Good. Who's with me? I've brought Lion along with me again. Hasn't got a name. Wonder what we could call him. Maybe you could think of a name for him. Maybe you could write it down for me and send it to me. Maybe by email, maybe by post. I don't know. I'd really love to know if you've got a name for our Lion. Right, he's sitting here and he's got his good listening ears. Oh, what's important about listening? That's right. It's one of our golden rules, isn't it? Can you remember what number it is? That's right. It's number, show me on your fingers. It's number 6, isn't it? Right. So I need you to be a good listener today. Well, we worked on this last week, so we know how to do that. I'm going to show you something. Now, there is a little girl in this school who's in one of our bubbles, and she asked what was in my tin. She's got very, very good observant skills. She looked there and she said, "What's in the tin, Mrs. Lee?" And I said, maybe I'll show you one day. So if you sit really nicely, I might show you what's in my tin. Before I do that though, I need your good listening ears on because I'm going to read you a story. The story is called Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge. And it's one of my favourite books. It's quite long, so you need to sit still for quite a bit, but it's really, really lovely. It's all about this little boy called Wilfred and what he does. He actually does something from our golden rules. At the end of the story, I'm going to ask you, which golden rule did Wilfred keep? Let's find out. Okay. There once was a small boy called Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge, and what's more, he wasn't very old either. His house was next door to an old people's home, and he knew all the people who lived there. If you can see that picture of Wilfred, this is his garden, and this is the residential home next door. He liked Mrs. Jordan, who liked to play the organ. He listened to Mr. Hoskin, who told him scary stories. He played with Mr. Tippet, who was crazy about cricket. He ran errands for Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. And he admired Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. See the pictures of them. And his favourite person of all was Miss Nancy Allison Delacourt Cooper. Don't forget the Cooper. Because she had 4 names, just like he did. And he called her Miss Nancy, and he told her all his secrets. One day Wilfred Gordon heard his mother and father talking about Miss Nancy. "Poor old thing," said his mother. "Why is she a poor old thing?" said Wilfred Gordon. "Because she's lost her memory," said her father. "It isn't surprising," said his mother. "After all, she is 96 years old." "What's a memory?" asked Wilfred. He was always asking questions, which we know is a good thing, isn't it? "It's something you remember," said his father. But Wilfred Gordon wanted to know more. So he called on Miss Jordan, who played the organ. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something warm, my child, something warm." He called on Mr. Hoskin, who told him scary stories. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something from long ago, my lad, something from long ago." He called on Mr. Tippet, who was crazy about cricket. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something that makes you cry, my boy, something that makes you cry." He called on Miss Mitchell, who liked to walk with a wooden stick. "What's a memory?" he asked. Something that makes you laugh. My darling, something that makes you laugh. He called on Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. What's a memory? He asked. Something as precious as gold, young man, something as precious as gold. So Wilfred Gordon went home again to look for memories for Miss Nancy because she's lost all of hers. He looked for a shoebox of shells that he had from long ago, and he put them gently in a basket. He found a puppet on strings which always made people laugh, and he put that in the basket too. And he remembered with sadness the medal which his grandfather had given him, and he placed that in the basket too. These are all the things he's placing in the basket. Next he found his football, which was as precious as gold, and last of all, on his way to Miss Nancy's, he went into the hen house and he took a fresh, warm egg from under the hen. Then Wilfred Gordon called on Miss Nancy and he gave her each thing one by one. Can you see him sharing those things? What a dear strange child to bring me all these wonderful things, thought Miss Nancy. And then she started to remember. She held the warm egg and she told Wilfred Gordon all about the tiny speckled blue eggs that she had once found in a bird's nest in her auntie's garden. She put the shell to her ear and she remembered going to the beach by tram long ago and how hot she had felt in her button-up boots. Do you think that's Miss Nancy when she was little? I think so. She touched the medal and she talked sadly of a big brother that she had loved who had gone to war but never come back. She smiled at the puppet on strings and she remembered the one she had had with her sister and how they had laughed with their mouths full of porridge. She bounced the football at Wilfred Gordon and remembered the day she had met him and all the secrets that they had told. And the two of them smiled and smiled because Miss Nancy's memory had been found again by a small boy who wasn't very old either. That's the end of the story. Oh, what do you think? Yes? I reckon it's a lovely story. Do you remember I asked you, what number in the box was Wilfred like? I think he was like a number 2. Do you agree? I think he was being very kind and helpful. You might think of other golden rules that he kept in that one. I think he had good listening skills, don't you? Because he listened to what a memory was. I think he was very gentle when he went and got the hen's eggs. I think he looked after the property, didn't he? He had his medal from his granddad and he'd looked after that. Oh my gosh, lots and lots of golden rules that you can keep. Now, what's in my box? Well, I've got some nice things in my box too. I'm going to quickly show you some of them. I wonder if you might be able to make yourself a box up. Oops, which way am I going to open it? The right way I open it. So in my box, I put a few things that you've already seen in my room. I've put my lemon. Do you remember my lemon? I love my lemon because it makes children laugh when they hear the bell sound. I've put in a shell. The reason I've put a shell in is because I haven't been to the beach for ages and ages and ages. And I love going to the beach. So I put a shell in. You can put it to your ear. Sometimes they say you can hear the sea. Oh, I've put in something that I made and I'm really proud of myself. A long time ago, I went to forest school with Mrs. Esau and I made one of these for a necklace. I think you might have made one too. We had to cut the wood up and we were allowed to decorate it. Oh, I love Forest School and I miss that we can't go down there at the moment. Hopefully soon. And then I've put in something my little boy from home made me. It makes me think about him, but he made me something that's very precious. Out of Lego, he made me the Hartford Infant logo. And I love Hartford Infant School. I love my little boy. So there you go. Those are the things that are in my tin. They have good memories. And I think they're going to make memories as well. I wonder if you could make up a tin with lots of things inside it that make you happy. All right. I'd really be interested, and maybe you could send it to me, and maybe you could get on the shout out for next week. Right, Mrs. Lee is going to finish there. I just need you to do one more thing for me. Have you guessed it? That's right. It's the prayer. Oh, I forgot it then. Right, are you ready? Put your hands together, put your hands in your lap. What else? That's right, we need to close our eyes if we want to. Keep them open, but we must say the words. Are you ready? We're going to say, help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good, in all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Right, remember, quite a few things to do. Maybe you can think of a name for our lion. Maybe you could create a box of memories. Maybe you could be like Wilfred, try to keep loads and loads of golden rules. I don't mind. I hope you can try and do one of them. Right, bye-bye. See you tomorrow.